So the middle way is an important Buddhist concept that is epitomized in the book Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. And it depicts the life of Gautama Buddha as he is raised as a prince with all the luxuries of the world, and his father tries to shelter him from the suffering outside of the castle walls, in order that he not see the actual suffering that occurs in the world. And then at some point when he's, I think, a teenager, then he has a encounter. Somehow he goes outside the walls of the palace walls and sees the suffering in the world, and his eyes are open. And because of this, he decides he's going to renounce his position as prince. He's going to renounce the palace. He's going to renounce the entire world and follow a path of self-denial, and get to know the suffering of the world. And so he takes this extreme path of denial and selflessness, renouncing everything, all worldly pleasures, all worldly goods, and he follows this path for a certain amount of time. And then at some point, then he decides to forsake that path and go to the other extreme. And so he goes to the city. He meets this beautiful woman and lives with her, and they then have this extremely sensual, worldly lifestyle of having everything he could possibly have. And then at some point, then he decides that isn't the way either, and that there is a middle way. Now, my interpretation might be slightly off. I'm not, an extreme student of Buddhism, but I sort of just want to give my own personal interpretation anyways, which is that the middle way to me means finding the balance between self and other. It's about finding that place where you are both acknowledging, accepting, and honoring yourself, and simultaneously you're doing the same for others. You're both meeting your own needs, and you're also engaged with the world, helping with the healing of the world, conscious of suffering, compassionate towards the suffering of the world, and seeking to help to heal it. So it doesn't have to be an either-or situation on the spiritual path. You don't have to either choose a lifestyle of extreme asceticism, of renouncing the world and going into a cave, or living in a shanty town and living this extremely self-denial path. And then the other option isn't simply to live a life of excess and of gluttony and greed, but there's a middle way between the two. So there's a balance to be found between self and other, between the individual and the collective consciousness, between your own personal needs and wants and the needs of the planet, and you can satisfy both. You can both live a life of enjoyment and happiness and having your basic needs and beyond that met, and you can also be engaged with the world and compassionate towards others and helping in the healing of the planet. So it doesn't have to be an either-or situation of one extreme or the other. Extreme asceticism, denying the world and everything in it, and all sensual pleasures and all worldly goods, in order to focus on the spiritual path, or a life of greed and excess and gluttony, and just focusing on your own needs and your own wants, and only concerned with what will make you happy. Those are the two extremes. The middle way is somewhere in the center there, in which you are satisfying your own needs and focus on the world, in which you are living in the true spirit of namaste, the Sanskrit Hindi word, which means essentially, I recognize you as another myself. And when you recognize me as another yourself, then we are one. And so it's relating to self and other, recognizing that others out there are selves. Even as I may seem to be an other to somebody else, we're all selves. We're all other from the perspective of somebody else, and relating as if we are all equal. My needs are important, your needs are important, and agreeing to live life as if both are important and both are worthy of consideration and of your attention.